We start our show, though, with breaking news out of Dallas this morning. Mavericks star guard Luka Dončić has a left leg contusion and will be reevaluated in 1 week, the team says. He suffered the injury during workouts. Now, our reporter who covers all things Mavericks, Tim McMahon, he is reporting, as you can see here, that there is no concern about Dončić being ready to play for the Mavericks regular season opener against the San Antonio Spurs. That one on October 24th. We'll have much more on the Mavericks coming up. Klay Thompson, he hit the floor in his new threads. That number 31 yesterday. Now, the Mavs are holding training camp at the UNLV campus in Las Vegas. And last season's offense for the Mavs, it ranked 8th overall in the league, which was good enough to reach the NBA Finals. But here's Klay Thompson on why they could reach new heights with him this year.
Being able to play with Luka for the last few days, his ability in the pick and roll is maybe the best I've ever seen, and it'll be fun to play with him in those sets because he draws so much attention and he gets so many open looks from the perimeter. So I'll be there to knock him down. I think it will take a couple weeks, just to get used to this new system, but luckily opening night's not till the 22nd, I think. So this preseason might be the most important one I've had in so many years, and I can't wait to get going tomorrow and learn this system. But I do know I'm a hooper, so I can adjust accordingly, and I look forward to doing that.
You can see the joy there from Klay Thompson. We should mention, since he said he's excited to play with Luka Dončić, the team did announce that Luka has a calf contusion, but contusion is just a fancy word for bruise. So Tim McMahon is reporting he should be good to go for opening night. And remember, the only team that took more threes in the Mavs last season was the Boston Celtics. So we could see that number go even higher with Klay Thompson. Perk, thinking about all that, where would you rank the Mavs offense this season?
Oh, top 5 easily. Maybe number 1. There's no reason that this team shouldn't lead the league in scoring. Matter of fact, they're going to be the best pick and roll team in the NBA. When you have 2 athletic, dynamic rollers like they have in Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, it opens up so much more for everyone else. And then you have playmakers in Kyrie, Irving, and Luka who are able to not only create for themselves, but others in the spacing. P.J. Washington, we know he can knock down threes. Klay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters of all time. We definitely know he can knock down shots. The spacing is going to be there. The playmaking is going to be there. The rolling is going to be there. This is going to be not only one of the most exciting offensive teams in the league, but one of the best, if not the best.
I think for this team to get back to an NBA Finals, it's going to be on the defensive end. I had Jason Kidd as a player. I had Jason Kidd as a coach for 1 year. Defense, defense, defense. Post-trade deadline, 22-9, 7th in the league in defensive efficiency. That's how this team gets back to an NBA Finals. And I don't think there's another trade out there that's going to jumpstart this, like when the Daniel Gafford and certainly P.J. Washington trade. But that's how this team gets back, is defense.
On the defensive end, Chiney.
Yeah, I mean, I love the combination of both of your analysis because NBA champions are typically top 3 in both offense and defense. The Mavs might have their work cut out for them defensively, but they truly can have the best offense in the NBA, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. 1, they have an elite shot creator in Luka Dončić, who, by the way, also gives you 33 points per game. Look at him drawing so many players, and the problem is, in the NBA Finals, his team only shot 32% from 3. Now you insert one of the best, an elite catch and shooter in Klay Thompson, who, by the way, is a career 41% three-point shooter. So that is a huge hole that is being filled by one of the greatest shooters we have ever seen. And when I say greatest shooters, 219 catch-and-shoot threes, field goals last season, the second most in the NBA. Last year we witnessed this offense come dangerously close to perfection. Dunks, threes, isolation. Now they have 3 really great offensive threats on top of hopefully a better defense. I'm not surprised. I will not be surprised if they make a similar run to maybe close to the NBA Finals.
Well, Chiney, one of Klay Thompson's former teammates is hoping to have a little something to say about that. Training camp's also underway in Phoenix under new head coach Mike Budenholzer. And last year's first-round exit, it is in the rear view. The vibes, they are high. Bradley Beal says he's, quote, very healthy. Had to add the very in there. And Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they're coming off success in the Paris Olympics. So check out why KD says that gold medal has given him a renewed sense of focus.
Sometimes you can go through the motions a bit throughout your career when you haven't been on that podium sometimes. So it's good to refresh the brain a bit. That's always the goal when you've been in this league so long and you have experience winning and being on top.
I'm blessed now and happy that we're built in a way to where I don't have to take on a lot of those roles that I did last year. And I could just focus on being Brad.
How about Coach Bud? What was your initial conversation like with him? What were some of the things that he brought up, and what excited you most about playing for him?
I told him he owes me a ring.
Yeah, you know, just that 2021 ring that Devin Booker's like, hey, you got that then. Let's get one now that you're not with the Milwaukee Bucks and you're with the Phoenix Suns. But it seems like this team really believes that they will be in that title chase, that title conversation. Perk, what is the difference that you think from this year to last year that could have them there?
Well, obviously, they were shooting a lot of slugs just now, so it got to be Coach Bud, right? Coach Bud is the difference maker. Here's the thing. Do they have enough offensively? Hell yeah, they got enough. They got 3 of the most efficient scorers that we've ever seen, right? The word sacrifice comes to mind, okay? I believe that if this team is clicking on all cylinders, I wouldn't be surprised if they reach the NBA Finals. I'm not picking them to come out of the West, but I wouldn't be surprised. Are they going to sacrifice? Remember in the Olympics, yes, Kevin Durant, he showed us moments why I called him the best scorer to ever touch the basketball. But we also saw a moment where he was picking up 94 feet and sliding those puppies. Devin Booker, we saw when he was playing off the ball and he was doing things that didn't show up in the stat sheet. Like, are they going to come together like that? I feel the energy. I think they will. We know that KD and Frank Vogel didn't see eye to eye. They get a fresh start with Coach Bud. They seem happy right now. Let's see how it continues.
Well, Phoenix got better this offseason with all this limitation as far as how they can add. Tyus Jones goes to the starting point guard. They add Monty Morris. Mason Plumlee comes off the bench. Now, here's the unknown. Is that good enough? What they did in the offseason, is that good enough to overtake Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, some of those teams like that? Certainly we'll talk about New Orleans here, and that's the hard part here and we probably won't know this until we get into the middle of the season right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think this is a question, obviously, in training camp. Everyone should be optimistic. I don't know that this is a question that we can answer in the early goings of October, Shanae, but it does seem like they have a renewed sense of focus here.
They absolutely do, because the world saw their stars shine the brightest on the greatest stage at the Olympics between KD and Devin Booker. And every year, I feel like midway we go and we have these conversations like, Devin Booker, should we be talking about him being in the MVP conversations? I like that he's setting the standard for championship because he has the potential. He is firmly in his prime, entering his 10th season. One of the greatest, as Perk said, most efficient scorers the game has seen. I want to see that dog continue to come out of him. He has been a silent assassin, similar to KD, but like you can't really have 2 of those guys. You need one to really emerge, and I feel like he's uniquely positioned for that. Lastly, I'll say this. The Suns have had a very competent offseason. Getting a point guard, that was a question mark. That's huge. Tyus Jones has led the NBA in assist-to-turnover ratio. They needed help at the center position. They got that in Plumlee. The biggest issue last year was that they were losing games late. I don't think that they will, because they will have everyone healthy right now. So hopefully we will see that run that Perk spoke of.
Let's check in on some NBA training camps that are now underway across the country with some coast to coast, but we start with breaking news. The biggest trade of the offseason, it is now official. The Timberwolves, they're sending 4-time All-Star Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick. It was first reported, of course, back on Friday, but now that trade is official, which means we get to hear from Karl Anthony Towns on it. He posted his official goodbye to Minnesota, saying in part, 9 years ago, I arrived in Minnesota as a young man with a dream. Little did I know that this place would become my home and its people would become my family. But Bobby, let's focus in on what this means. Why did it take so long for it to come together here? So
one of the players involved in the sign and trade that went to Charlotte was Dwayne Washington. He was playing in Partizan. That's not the United States. So they had to work out a buyout with his team over in Partisan to get him over to the States. He was involved in the trade. It all comes back to the apron. It all comes back to the apron to make the money work for New York to send out and take less back money. And Washington goes to Charlotte as part of one of 3 players. And that was the complication as far as the holdup in this trade here.
Oh, well, and we now get to hear from Karl Anthony Towns, we expect shortly now that the trade is official. Let's go to the Denver Nuggets, right, who are actually in Abu Dhabi. And let's check out what the newest member of the team, Russell Westbrook, is up to. Because, oh, yes, that is a camel perk that he is riding. Outside of these skills, what do you think Westbrook brings to the team?
Oh, everything. I think he's going to bring definitely a spark off the bench. Like Michael Malone said, he's going to challenge Russ to be the best defensive player on that team. And I believe Russ is going to accept the challenge. I'm just happy that Russ is happy. We haven't seen Russ happy in a very, very long time. And it seemed like the Denver Nuggets are happy with Russ and Russ is happy with the Denver Nuggets. By the way, that's the great part about going overseas during training camp, because you get to, do things like that and be with your team.
Let's stick in the West here, Perk, not with the camel riding. The Rockets, they're loose during the start of training camp. Dylan Brooks, he's famous for poking the bear, but now he's pillow fighting with Clutch the Bear. Janae, do the Rockets sneak into the playoffs this year? Whoa, look at that pillow fighting for him.
They absolutely can sneak into the playoffs. The vibes are right. And, yeah, he didn't miss a beat. He didn't wait. He went after Clutch. We're taking no prisoners, mascot included. Shout out to the H. Good vibes.
This is how me and Kendra used to pillow fight. We would hold nothing back here.